What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Today we're focusing on the Ottawa Senators and Pittsburgh Penguins second round matchup. Obviously, both teams took different routes to the second round. Ottawa, quickly dispatched the Montreal Canadiens in 5 games, and Pittsburgh had to battle through some adversity that neither I nor many other people nor themselves saw coming against an upstart New York Islanders team. But this is a pretty good matchup. Obviously, you got the Karlsson Cooke incident. Karlsson's back. Karlsson played phenomenal against Montreal. He had 6 points in 5 games, but he didn't look 100%, and he's had time to heal. So let that sink in for a little bit. That you could have one of the best defensemen. And the other thing is, there's 2 old cliche sayings that I think complement each other perfectly in this series, and that's revenge is a dish best served cold, and the best revenge is success. What better way, if you're Ottawa, to get your payback on Matt Cooke than send him home early? But before we've talked enough about that in the weeks leading up to this. Both coaches are great coaches. Biles made a real bold move, not only with Vokoun, made a couple bold moves. He sat UC Open, went 11 points in 10 games for the Penguins, and he sat Bo Bennett, who scored in Game 1. He played Game 2, and I think that was it. So he's not afraid to tinker with the lineup, and let's not even get into what McLean's did. I mean, Turris was on the fourth line for a little bit in 2 of the games, and then he scores an overtime winner. Conacher was benched for a while. I think Zibanejad was benched for a while, and they all come up big at different moments in time. So he knows. The thing with I like about McLean is Guy Boucher was the same way in Tampa. It's too bad it didn't work out. He recognizes individual talent, individual psychological makeup, and then uses that to the betterment of the team. He knows who's feeling it on game day, and that's something. There's something to be said for that. So that gives you an advantage over a lot of other teams. And I like the goaltending situation in Ottawa. Anderson's been great, and if he gets hurt, I like Lanner. If something happens to Vokoun, I don't think Vokoun's going to beat this team. I really don't. If something happens to Vokoun where he gets lit up, gets hurt, how much confidence do you really have in Fleury to get the job done? How much confidence does Fleury have in himself? Where is he psychologically? I don't know. I can't speak for him. I'm not in his mind. I'm not a mind reader. I wish I was. It'd be pretty cool. But I don't see where he is I don't know how that's going to factor in. And like I said, I don't think we've seen the last of Fleury in these playoffs. But going back to the series, I got Ottawa winning this thing in 6 games. I like the team too much. Obviously Pittsburgh, Letang's and Norris Trophy finalists for a reason. But Ottawa's fourth line was like Karlsson, not Karlsson, Cassian, Zach Smith, and was it Chris Neal? When they're bearing down on you, they're going to be turnovers, even if you're a Norris Trophy finalist. Same thing with Paul Martin, who had a great year and a great series against the Islanders. I think Ottawa's younger and hungrier. This is the 4th time they've met in the last 6 years. I mean, the core nucleus has changed a little bit, particularly with Ottawa now I think about it. But, Alfredsson's got one last run in him. He's the captain of the ship, the captain of the team too, for that matter. That wasn't trying to be too funny, but it was. And realistically, Spets can be back for the conference finals. I mean, he's skating on his own. Skating when you come back from a hurt back, it's tough. I can tell you from experience. My back never hurt to the degree Spezza did, and I was coming back to skate and ref and playing rec leagues, not playing the Stanley Cup Finals against a team like the Pittsburgh Penguins. But I like Ottawa too much in this series. I think Crosby will be great, Malkin will be great, Neal and Kunitz will step their game up, but I just think Ottawa wants it more. I think Iggy played pretty well against the Islanders. I think he was unfairly criticized. I think he played, to what's to be expected from a 35-year-old winger. But he's a great player. But I like this. Ottawa's got depth. They're both great, very well coached, and the goaltending situation more favors Ottawa. And that's just the way it goes. And obviously the high-end talent favors Pittsburgh, but Karlsson's pretty high-end himself, and he's clicking. And it's tough to get a defenseman that can, defenseman just can change a game-changing defenseman like that is tough to come around. And Ottawa has one, so. And that's not a knock on the tank, but Karlsson at 100% is as good offensively as any defenseman we've seen in the last 20 years. Brian Leetch maybe, best one the last 20 years offensive. Obviously Lidstrom, but I always think Lidstrom's a better all-around defenseman. I think his offense gets overshadowed by how good he was in all zones, so that's maybe on criticism. I mean, Lidstrom's too good to be just an offensive defenseman, in my book. But anyway, That's on this episode of the Power Play of CJ. Ottawa Senators in 6 games. See you from episodes throughout the playoffs and beyond. Later, guys.